What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about AAVE and compound today. We're actually going to compare AAVE to compound and see if we can figure out which one might outperform the other one, right? So we're going to do a general analysis on AAVE and compound, and then we'll get into the AAVE versus compound chart. Okay, so if that sounds good to you, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This video comes to us at the request of Disney is Greedy and Adrian Avalar. Thank you guys very much. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into this here. So looking at AAVE from its first high to its low down here, right? All-time history chart. Went all the way up to just above your 1414, just below the 1618. Nice move. Pulled back to the 100 level, found support, and now you're building. Statistically speaking, the next area that you'd go to would be $3,677. You're at $374. So that's about a 10x from here. That's not bad. You could see that. I mean, in a very short amount of time, this thing... it seems to be no stranger to these very fast upward movements. I wonder just how big was that actually? I mean, that's a 200x right there, man. Last cycle, crazy things, right? Talking about a 10x from here, that's not too hard to ask for, is it? Definitely not cycle predictions, right? These are just like next kind of target predictions. But this is also from our previous cycle, like 2018, 2017 highs. 2019 lows. So let's go to this cycle's high and low and see. With the same kind of trajectory in mind, right? High to low here, you went all the way up just above your 1414. High to low here, maybe you go just above your 1414 here at $2,000. Is that going to be the end of the cycle for AAVE? I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me, man. Let's look at this. Hold on. Come on, CoinGecko. Come on, buddy. Let's see. AAVE. $5.6 billion right now. So I definitely think AAVE is deserving of a $100 billion or more market cap. Okay. It's worth 5.6 now. So a 10x would put it at 56 billion. Okay. I don't think it stops there to 10x, 56 billion. 100x would be 102 billion, right? So let's go there. No, sorry. Not 100x. I'm sorry. 100x would be a lot more. I meant to say a 20x. A 20x would be a 102 billion. Yes. 20x would be basically right here, right? Like right there, literally $7,483. High to low. Right there at your 1886. High to low here. Right there at the 2. I bet you do go higher, man. I bet you go to your AAVE. You're worth $374, man. You might be worth $20,000 by the end of this cycle. You might be. As crazy as that is, man. I don't know if you will. I would at least expect 7,000. That's a 19x from here. But you really could see a 50 plus, a 60 plus X, yeah. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. I think so, yeah. Market cap checks out. It's been around long enough. I think it definitely deserves that kind of readings, those kind of levels. Let's just see. Compound, by contrast, has not been. It hasn't been around as long as AAVE has, right? It hasn't been around since 2017. The very, very end of 2017, I might add. Compound has been around since 2020, I believe, or maybe a little bit earlier. Let's see. Go to the max time frame. Yeah, it was June 2020, so it came around a little bit later. You're at about a $1 billion market cap, okay? So a lot less than AAVE is, a $1 billion market cap. However, you have seen a good bit of one bull cycle already and a full bear cycle. I think you are eligible, compound, to see a $100 billion market cap this cycle. I don't know if you do. I just think you're eligible to see that. You could if you wanted to. Okay, so we'll just put that on the table. You're at about $1 billion now. That would make compound a 100xable coin. Being at $100, $110, 100x from here would be what? That'd be like $10,000. So I don't think that's going to happen personally. It's basically like $11,000 actually. I don't think that's going to happen. It's possible. I just don't think it's going to happen. But it definitely makes this 1618, the 8,254 target, seem a little bit more possible than it might have a second ago. I don't know if we see 82.5K, or sorry, 8,205, 8,250. I don't think we see that. by the end of this cycle. I am more prone to believing we see 4,000 to 2,400 from the current price. That's an overall growth of 22 to 35. Let's say 22 to 35x. AAVE, this is its like maximum potential, right? If it does something a little bit more modest, you know, maybe it sees a 17x to a 28x. Already, I would say compound probably is, it's got the more potential, but if we're looking at the maximums, compound still has it beat. Okay, compound still has it beat. If we're looking at the, but it might not, just because compound, it's 1618 is greater growth than the 2272 would be on a percentage terms for AAVE. That doesn't mean that compound's going to hit its 1618 and AAVE is going to hit its 2272. They both could fall short, or maybe compound only hits $2,400 and AAVE hits its 2272. You know what I mean? So even though its maximum potential might not be as high, that doesn't guarantee that compound would outperform AAVE from here on out, right? And that's what this chart's going to be for. And we're going to save that for last. But I do want to go over some just general analysis for compound real quick. Looking at the daily price, I like the RSI. I think it looks really good. Bouncing, you got out of the 60, got right back into it, looking really good, looking very productive. A little bit of a what they would call a shakeout right here. Definitely looks like a shakeout. That's what they would call a bear trap. We're coming back now. We're slowly grinding back up, and I think sometime next week, if not by the end of this week, we'll break out to new highs. Compound right now, you guys, is on a moon mission all the way up to about 235 or higher. From a high to low, its minimum target expectation would be 235 here at the 618 golden retracement. But you really could see compound go all the way up to $426 or $608 by the end of January. It's worth $109 now. By the end of January, we could be up that high. Just because a lot of coins that have been accumulating like this, they've been running up all the way up to their 786, 886 zones. So something to look forward to, right? Definitely growth, sizable growth one way or another over the next month and a half or two. But the most that I could see compound growing over the next like month and a half essentially would be 448%. I'm more expecting it to grow more than 280%, less than 440%. Okay, let's just keep that in mind. More than 280, less than 440. AAVE, on the other hand, I'm expecting it to grow over the next month and a half as well. It probably stops soon. It probably stops soon, actually. Because I don't think you break right through this on your first attempt. You're going to find resistance there. And then you'll consolidate. Huh. Yeah, I think short-term compound takes the winner on that as well, honestly. Because I don't think AAVE will be up here by the end of January. You're at 375 now. I don't think you'll be up here because you'll have to consolidate. I mean, you don't have to consolidate long down here. You know, you go up to your 886. Next week you could hit your 786 and then come back up the following week, and then you're off to the races, I suppose. Let's run with the idea. Let's run with the idea that AAVE does go to its 1272, okay? By the end of January. Let's run with that idea. 270% compound, I think by the end of January will be, so they're pretty comparable. From their current prices, they're pretty comparable. But AAVE, I'm less confident in seeing that price. I'd be more confident in it seeing a lower price. It could be at new all-time highs, but lower price than that. So I would still give it to compound personally. I want to just go to the AAVE compound chart now, though. Now that we've gotten kind of the short-term stuff out of the way, right? We know what to expect of both of these, I would think. AAVE, again, I do think it will stop at about 490 to 500. I think it'll stop right there. You're at 375 now. I don't think you stop here. I think you keep going. Let me make sure that that's accurate. I don't. Maybe you do stop here. Actually, let's see. AAVE USD. No, you're not going to stop here. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're not stopping here. So you're going to stop. I think $490 to $500. You're at 375 now, right? Is that what the target was? Yeah, 490 to 500, somewhere in there. And then you'll probably consolidate. Oddly enough, I would think you hit this. You got 2 days, 19 hours left. I think you either hit this by the end of this week or more likely by the end of next week, which would then mean that you're probably going to consolidate during Christmas week and maybe even into the end of the year. Hard to say. It'll be interesting to say, unless you just blast right through the roof, man. I mean, if this thing blasts right through the roof, it'll be crazy. But I very much do expect to find resistance here. Okay, now that I've said that 5 times at least, we're looking at the AAVE compound chart. And this is not what I expected to see whenever I pulled it up, but this is AAVE versus compound. So when this goes up, that means AAVE is gaining value versus compound. Since compound came about in 2020, in June, from a low to a high, AAVE has done like a 100x on compound, man. It's literally at like 100x right now on compound. It's crazy. It's way more bullish, and of course it is, right? Look at compound's chart. Look at AAVE's chart, right? We go on a monthly basis here. You look at AAVE, then you look at compound, right? On a monthly basis. Different charts. Very bullish chart, not so bullish chart, right? So I mean, it's kind of obvious. Also, a lot closer to your all-time highs. Here, you haven't really broken away just yet, right? You're about to, though. So I think that this chart, you will see it come down probably very soon. On a monthly basis, we were overbought. We came out of the overbought zone, and now we're getting back into it. We are set up. 18 days, 19 hours left. We are set up to put us into some bearish divergence on this chart on a monthly basis. That kind of stuff could really signal a big shift in the AAVE compound chart, and that would suggest that compound does outperform AAVE. That's only if we get bearish divergence. That's only if it comes to fruition. We could close this month here above it and have that bearish divergence, and then next month we grow higher and we close higher and we negate that bearish divergence, right? It's only divergence until we close higher, so it's hard to say. Right now, it definitely does appear that AAVE is the more dominant one as far as compound and AAVE go. They've been very tit for tat throughout most of their lives, but recently AAVE's definitely taken the leap. High to low here. Yeah, that's a bullish looking chart right there. I would say AAVE looks like it wants to gain some value versus compound right now immediately. Probably another 42 cents, 40%, 45%. And that makes sense to me because I don't expect compound to move up too much over the next like week. Maybe it does, but maybe it doesn't. But AAVE, it could move up another like 35, 30%, something like that. And if AAVE is up 30 to 35% and compound moves down like 5 or 10% within that time at just some point, maybe, you know, it doesn't move down too much, but you're at $109 now, maybe move back to like $100 before you move back up, right? If you see a little bit of a move down while AAVE moves up, that could equate to like 43% overall, right? 32% gain, 35% gain here, 5% move down there. That could equal that could be pretty close to that. Either way, I would think, and this AAVE versus compound chart might argue more for AAVE to not stop at 490 to 500, but maybe go up a little bit higher. Is what this chart's telling me, but not much higher. I would think that you find resistance there. I would think that if we look at the weekly RSI here, oh, come on now. Look at the weekly RSI, you would come up and you'd form lower highs, probably, right, with higher highs in the price chart. That'd be bearish divergence going alongside with your monthly bearish divergence, probably, right? Because again, I think this move will probably end next week. And if it ends next week, you find resistance there, you're probably going to consolidate for more, I don't know, probably the rest of the year. And if you do that, you'd get set up for bearish divergence and your weekly divergence to play out. It's hard to say. Right now, short term, I would expect AAVE does outperform compound, and obviously it has been over the past few days, past week. But I think really over the next week, even it continues to outperform compound. But then after that, I think compound's going to take the reins. I think it's going to show AAVE that it can handle this, that it can. What was I going to say? That it can perform as well. I don't know, man. It's the end of the night for me. I'm having a hard time talking. I think a little bit higher, yeah. And then you're probably going to pull back down. So I don't really have anything else that I want to say, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. Compound probably consolidates more or less for the next week. AAVE probably moves up for the next week. And then afterwards, we'll see that shift. We'll see compound start to take off and AAVE will start to consolidate. That's kind of my thoughts. If AAVE doesn't start to consolidate at the end of next week, then I would think it starts to consolidate sometime in Christmas week. That's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This chart didn't really help me too much. I'm sure a lot of you, it probably didn't help any of us, right? It's not giving us too much. It's kind of a weird chart. My only expectation is that it goes up a little bit higher and then maybe we see some kind of retracement, but I'm not expecting something detrimental. You know, I don't know. They seem to run pretty in line, in tandem with each other. Most of their lives, they've been in this block here, right? Most of this chart's existence, you've literally been in like this little block right here. I would expect you return to it. That's just my thoughts. But with that, I leave you. Take care. See you on the next one. Bye bye.